Hello, this is Goto. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. Last time we set up our steam oven over here, as well as did some more automation. And today what I think I want to do is focus on um, doing a bit more automation, automating some recipes we need a lot of. And then I also want to work on getting us into the next step of tech progression. So there's kind of two steps for the next step of tech progression. Oh, some experience here I can claim. I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. So let's see. Where's our tech progression? So this is our tier progression. Our next step to progress to the next tier, which is MV, medium voltage, is going to be making the um, electric blast furnace, or also known as the EBF, usually just referred to as an EBF all the time. Um, so in order to make this, we can make all of the stuff it needs right now. It's not really anything crazy in here. We have these heat-proof casings which require Invar, which we already know how to make. Uh, Input and output buses and hatches we've made before. There's these new hatches, energy hatches. We haven't made those before, but those are pretty easy. Just some steel wire and magnetic iron. So yeah, a lot of things to make for this. But another thing we need slash want for our progression is in the circuitry chapter, we want to be able to move to if you see this arrow here, this arrow actually lets us craft the next tier of circuit, which is the MV circuits. However, in order to make this, we need this phenolic circuit board. Phenolic. We need phenolic circuit board, which is pretty easy. That's just glue plus sawdust. So that is actually the easy part. The hard part is to actually take the circuit board and have I guess, the metal on it, the traces. I don't know. These are both called circuit boards. This is more like the baseboard, and that's the circuit board. But anyways, in order to do that, we either have to use a chemical reactor with some sodium persulfate or iron 3 chloride, which we haven't made either of yet, or we have to use a whole lot of silver. So that's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is that in order to make this, we need diodes. And to make diodes, it doesn't matter what method we use here, we need to have something called gallium arsenide. And in order to do that, you mix gallium and arsenic. Also, we can use these silicon wafers. But to make the silicon wafers, those also require gallium arsenide and the electric blast furnace. So, yeah, we need gallium arsenide. I think arsenic we already have actually. We had some mineral with arsenic in it. Yeah, cobaltite has cobalt and arsenic, so we could electrolyze this and get some arsenic once we have an MV electrolyzer. But the MV electrolyzer requires the MV circuit, so we would need a non-MV source of arsenic. And let's see what sources we have here. Arsenic trioxide, that's not going to be an option. Here we go. This is going to be our source, Realgar, which is an arsenic sulfide mineral found, I believe, in the Nether. Yeah, where is this found? Oh no, it's found in redstone veins. Okay, so we actually should already have some then. Oh yeah, we do. There we go. Railgar ore. So we can go ahead and make that into arsenic. The problem then just remains the gallium. So to make gallium, we have two options. So we can get it from ore byproducts processing bauxite or sphalerite. However, sphalerite is only available in a sphalerite vein found in the Nether, and bauxite is only available in a bauxite vein also found in the Nether. So that's one way to get gallium, and then the other way to get gallium from non-byproducts is, I think there was a recipe here, yeah, mana infusion with Botania, and then alchemy catalyst. Bauxite dust to make tiny gallium. However, bauxite, we just discussed, comes from the nether. So no matter what, in order to get the next tier of circuits, we're going to have to go to the nether. Ooh, what a rabbit hole, right? Getting to the nether involves building this recipe here to create these nether portal bricks, kind of like how we made our overworld portal bricks. However, the difficulty here, this is not the difficult part here, though that will cost us a fair bit of obsidian. We definitely have enough EMC for that much obsidian, right? Yeah, no problem. And I accidentally completed a task by pulling all my obsidian out, but that's okay. Because we're going to need 40 obsidian for that. And then the hard part of this recipe is actually the liquid death here. So in order to get liquid death, we need... Oh, it's not in NEI. That's okay. I happen to know that there's a quest for liquid death over here in the Thaumcraft chapter. It is a crucible recipe. And we're going to need 10 servings of one bucket. So basically we need to do this recipe once. I'm not exactly sure if the crucible can support this much fluid at a time, so I'm not sure if we have to use the more advanced crucible. It's called the alchemical construct to automate the crucible. But that does make it easier overall. But otherwise, we need to make this liquid death, and we're going to need to find some aspects with this mortis, or some items with this mortis aspect on it. So let me take a quick look through here. Treated wood doors apparently have one mortis on them. That's interesting. I'm going to bookmark that. Let me bookmark the recipe. Let's see. Oh, treated wood planks and stairs actually have one as well. All these treated wood options have one option. So let's see. This is treated wood is chemical bath of creosote oil and any kind of planks. Okay. Stairs turns 6 into 4. Okay, so we don't want to do this. That's a reduction in materials. This turns 4 into 3 plus the sticks, and then this turns 2 into 1. So this is actually a really good option here. This treated wood planks. We don't have a chemical bath, right? So in order to do that, we would need... Yeah, no chemical bath. We would need either to do this recipe with a bucket manually a handful of times, or we would need to make a chemical bath. I might just do the bucket recipe if we only need 100 of them. And then the other thing we need... Other options. I didn't finish looking at the other options of Mortus. Anything else that only has Mortus on it? That treated wood option is actually pretty good, though, because it's 1 exactly per item. We can just get 100 of those items and chuck them in. File of Mortis Essentia. Yeah, of course, that would be a pure Mortis. One thing we could do is set up Essentia distillation, which lets us melt items down into the liquid form of Essentia, and then we could put files in. That would be a way to get files if we need. I'm just looking through this while I'm talking here, seeing if anything is not super dirty with a whole bunch of other aspects, and then it's also like reasonably simple to make. Honestly, what did I see there? Hang on. Treated wood boat. 5 to 3. Nope, that's not a good option either. Honestly, I'm thinking that haggis has death in it, apparently. Oh, I see it has rotten flesh in it. Yummy. Mmm. All of these arrows and potions aren't going to be relevant. Yeah, we're probably going for the treated wood planks here. So let's go ahead and let's go steal our creosote oil drum from downstairs and make some treated wood real quick. And let me grab some wood planks as well. I'm going to make a few extra just in case they're needed in the future. Let me make sure these wood planks are not in our crafting table though, so they don't get used up. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use this recipe here. Let me go grab my treated wood drum, or treated wood, creosote oil drum. Just going to plop it right here. We're going to fill this bucket up. We're going to dump all the buckets in here, shift click, and repeat like 3 times. We'll repeat until we go through all of those planks. How's that sound? Should only take a moment. So 1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click. Double click. We do have enough to stop now, but I wanted to go ahead and just convert all of this while I have the creosote oil up here. Alright, one more iteration and we'll be done. Alright, there we go. Got a whole bunch of treated wood planks. These are all 1 mortise aspect each. Let's see, can we do anything to make them more efficient in any way? Doesn't really look like it. Oh, wait a second. Oh, never mind. I'm not sure what this interface is specifically. It's showing aspects of 1 mortise, I guess. Alright, so we have our treated wood now. What else can we do with treated wood? I think there was something else. We can make treated wood sticks, and that's used for used for a few things, it looks like, actually. But for now, we have our treated wood planks. We're going to need 100 of them, so this is going to be 36 plus 64 is 100. So there's our mortise. Let me go back to our liquid death recipe, and let me bookmark this because it doesn't show up in NEI. It's probably hidden. All right, next up, Perdicio. I think Perdicio is going to come from cobblestone. No, cobblestone is dirty with Terra. So can we get another kind of Perdicio source? Here, I'm not going to bore you with the process of me looking through everything again, so I'm just going to continue searching, and I will be back once I found something relevant here. So be back in a minute. Okay, well, hold the phone, because while I was in here, I did find some good options in here. I didn't find like a great pure Perdicio source, but I did find, so sand was the first thing I saw. It was a 1-to-1 with Terra. Then I found ash, which we can get by throwing dirt into a fire, which is 5-to-2. And then I found this mud block, which is pretty easy to make. It's 10-to-2. But then I was looking, and we're going to ignore creeper wings there. I was looking in here, and I saw that creosote oil bucket actually has all 3 of the things we need on it. So it's like, huh. That actually gets us pretty close. So what I'm thinking is actually do 5 creosote oils. That's going to give us the alchemia we need. Oh, alchemia. Then we're going to need 15 more Perdicio, so I can do 3 ashes or just 2 mud blocks, I guess. And let's do 3 ashes. And then we would need 50 more mortise, and the mortise we have the planks ready to go. So let's plan for that option instead. And then we're going to need like buckets galore though for this. So let's see how, now that we have technology, how can we make buckets better? We can lathe some metal blocks, or some iron blocks rather. But in order to make said iron blocks, we're going to need to compress them into ingots first. So let's go and compress some iron really quick. Steam compressor. And let's speed this guy up. How long does it take? 30 seconds. Oh, no, no. How about we do full bore? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just going to manually feed it the iron, to be honest. Alright, here's our iron blocks, and then we put these in our lathe, and we should get some buckets. I'm just going to put 7 of them in there for now. We'll save the iron blocks. Maybe we'll need those later for, like, an anvil? I don't know. We'll see. But here are some more buckets for us. So we're going to need 5 buckets of this stuff. So there's our 5 buckets. And then we will need 3 ashes. So in order to make an ash, we need to take charred cobblestone or dirt or grass. But to get that, we just throw cobblestone into a fire, I believe, is how we get that. So let's go out here and burn the cobblestone. Can't help but notice that is not burnt. Maybe we need to come back in a minute. I'll give it a second over there. And then we're going to need 50 more of these treated woods. So let me get... There's 50. So this should be what we put in. And then our 3 ash blocks once we made those. Alright, did you turn into ash yet? It looks like... There we go. It doesn't turn into ash, it turns into charred cobblestone, and then the charred cobblestone is what we turn into ash. So there we go, there's our ash. We don't really need this. I mean, actually it looks kind of neat, but I'll just throw it over here. We need 3 of these. So if my math is correct, this should give us, 5 of these should give us the 20 alchemia and 35 perdicio. 3 of these makes up the remainder perdicio. Let's put these in our magic chest and not over there. And it's going to give us 6 extra Ignis, but that's okay. Then 50 of these will give us the remaining 50 Mortis we need. And then we need a bucket to actually finish the recipe. Alright. The sad part about this is that we lose our buckets, but here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm just going to do it all quickly so that we don't... it doesn't start evaporating away or anything. Can't help but notice that did not give us what we need. And now we've released just a astronomical amount of stuff into the atmosphere. Oh boy. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to make some goggles of revealing to help me actually look to see what's happening in our crucible, because if I can't see what's happening, I don't know what we're doing. So goggles of revealing. I don't think that's an actual recipe in here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need some gold plates for it. So let me get some gold cooking up while I look to see what we actually need to make it. So our vending machine is there. So goggles of revealing. To make this, we need some brass, some leather, and 2 thermometers. Okay, that's not too bad. And to make a thermometer, we need mana orbs and gold plates, as I previously alluded to. We do have 2 mana orbs here already. So we just need our 8 gold plates. I'm going to speed this up just a couple ticks. Whoops. No, our battery's in there. We're good. We are good. I'm going to speed it up a bit more because I am impatient. Okay. And we need some leather. Do we have leather? We have exactly the amount of leather we need. I remember we put some bait over in our void world. Let me go see what that bait has done for us. I mean, it's something. I'm gonna leave the rest of that over here for now. We don't really need it. Our sugarcane is looking pretty crazy here. Let me go. I'm just gonna go into spectator mode really quick so we can take a look at it. Yep, it just keeps going. Is this at the build height yet? This is probably at the maximum height that it can grow. Oh no, it's still growing. Look at that. It hasn't capped out yet. That's pretty fun. Anyways, I'm just going to game mode 0 and then /home us back to the overworld. Okay. So let's make our goggles of revealing. We need 2 thermometers. Oh, before I do this, though, I should actually go and scan our stuff in our base, because it's been a while since I've kind of scanned all of the various new things we may have, and apparently there's some stuff over here I never scanned. Whoops, don't do that. Let me keep my armor, please. Just scanning all of the various things here. Okay, this is gonna be like ka-ching, ka-ching, dopamine rush. Let's go. Alright. Love to see that. Let's scan all of our machines really quick. Oh, nothing can be learned from these, apparently? Okay, never mind. Apparently, we're too good for machines. Alright. Learn some stuff from our pipes, I guess. Alright. Good stuff there. Got a lot of new research points if/when we do research. Alright, let's make our goggles of revealing. Oh, and we need brass as well. My bad. Alright, there's our goggles of revealing. And this is also a bauble, so I don't have to have it on my head. Which I'm not gonna because it's gonna break, but I will put it in my bauble slot here. And now, when we look at Thaumcraft related things, we should see a little pop-up on stuff. Let's see here. What do we have that we can throw in there that doesn't really have much pollution? I don't know. Well, here, this candle has one bestia on it. Let's throw that in there, and yep, there we go. We can see our one bestia. Okay, so now we'll be able to see what is going on as we're putting the buckets in there. This is also why I made extra buckets, just in case something went wrong, which it did, but we had a backup, thankfully, so 5 buckets. 3 ash. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 35 is 50. Then we have 50 creosote oil. That gives us 50 mortise, and then we need 50 more of these guys. 46, 50. Okay, I just redid the math just to make sure we're correct here. And then we put the liquid death in here, and we should get our liquid death bucket. Okay, let's try it one more time, but now we can actually see what we're putting in here. As long as we keep adding stuff, I don't think stuff evaporates. Like there's a cooldown for stuff to evaporate. And now we start adding our treated planks. So everything looks good up until now, and we should just be able to put our bucket in here. 96, 99, 100, bucket. Excuse me? This is definitely the recipe, right? Do we, like, not have the research unlocked? Is that the problem? Alright, I'm gonna release this into the stratosphere once again. Apologies, surrounding world. What is going on here? Why can we not make this? This must be like a research issue. Hold on. Where's my Thaumonomicon? So, alchemy. Yeah, liquid death. Oh, we need to research it. Why is it showing us that we can do the recipe if we need to research it? Jeez. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna have to do a research setup before we can do that. So we're gonna need some scribing tools. We can do this recipe here. And it's gonna give us some paper. Okay, let's do research, I guess. So for a wood table, we're gonna need great wood slabs. We need great wood, which we've not yet grown. Let's go ahead and grow a great wood tree. Hopefully we can twerk this into existence. Yay! Oh, and apparently it was too strong for its own existence, and it just started immediately shedding saplings. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab some great wood logs. We're also going to need infused wood. Create in-world by dropping any log into liquid starlight. Okay. Those are easy to make. I'm only taking one piece of wood here because I kind of like the tree actually, and we don't need all of this great wood at the moment, so we'll just leave it there. I presume, I was going to say, I presume we can cut this in the watermill, but we can also just go over and put it in our cutting machine. And that's surprisingly slow to cut one log. Come on, you can do better than that. All right, there's some great wood planks. We need 3 great wood plank slabs, so cut 2 of those up. All right, there is some great wood for us. Now we need 4 logs to drop into liquid starlight. Do we have logs over here? We might not have any logs over here anywhere. Oh, here's some. Okay. Let's just take 4 oak logs are fine. Let's go up to our astral sorcery platform and we can drop them into the liquid starlight right here. All right, there's our infused wood. We can go to /home. What was that a quest for there? Was that in astral sorcery? Oh yeah, it was. Vibrant infused wood. MV medium voltage autoclave, huh? And what is that used for? Living wood. Okay, so that's a down the road problem. Okay, and we just need a saw. And we should be able to make our research table now. So wood table. There's our wood table. Where did this saw come from? I must have had a second saw in my inventory that I didn't see. All right, we have Magic Chapter Thaumcraft. We need to make the scribing tools now. We need any kind of black ink and then a feather. Do we have a feather somewhere? Apparently we do. That is not a feather. Okay, and then a black ink. I think we can use this stuff. Vanta Lily counts as black dye. Just checking if we can do anything else with it. Doesn't look like it. So that, and then we need a glass vial. I'm just going to actually go ahead and drink one of my elixirs here, and there we go. We now have a glass vial. Let's put this recipe. There's our scribing tool. It gives us some paper. We are rolling now. And then let's just put this out here with the rest of our Thaumcraft stuff. And I think we just use the scribing tools on the table. Okay, cool. And we also can take the scribing tools out of our inventory. If I recall, I'm going to move the Everfull urn over here. Because if I recall, there is a mechanic with this where if you put the research table next to relevant blocks, you can link to them, and that will give you higher. What's the word I'm thinking of? A higher focus on that thing, on that theory. So let's see. We are trying to make an alchemy research. So the way this works is basically we go through here and it's like, hey, read some words, and it will boost up your research points. And essentially you have to get to 100 research. But some of these require items to do. So like this reactions page over here, you study the difference between 2 types of V should you prove beneficial. I can't read it. Sorry. So we need to have a precantio and a instrumentum essentia V crystals in order to do this one. But it does gain us 25 alchemy. So let's see, actually, maybe that's not too bad to make. We were doing something for instrumentum before, right? Instrumentum? We were doing, like, the knives? Is that right? Knife. Yeah, the knife is good. Okay, so we have some quartz slivers, and we have some precantio crystals. And then let's make a knife. A knife! Here's a wooden knife, so we can put this in the crucible. There's our 4 instrumentum, and then if we put the quartz slivers in there, we get instrumentum crystals out. These cost 2 each, and they're worth 1. But now we should be able to make this theory because we have 1 of each of those. Alright, so we're now at 25% alchemy. So, when smelting, combine Mythos with Desiderium? I don't know if we have either of these. We're going to have to look at that. Take a step back. Lose 10 progress in each divided between categories. Regain 1 inspiration and 1 bonus draw. That's kind of a backward step, but it is a step we can do if we don't actually have a way to make this. And I don't know that we do, because this comes from like rare monsters. Oh, if only we had still had that trolls, the trolls column that was swinging at us here at the tree trunk, right? Actually, though, can we make these quartz slivers? We can make the quartz slivers. We would need chipped quartz in a autoclave. We might want to make some of those, to be honest. Let me get some quartz going just for that. So QARTZ, we don't have any quartz ore of any kind, apparently. So I would need to go mine quartz ore for that. Okay, don't get too distracted here. Do we have any other options, though, for this thing that I cannot spell, apparently? Mythos. Whoops. Mythos. I don't know that we're really going to have any amazing options here. I'm just going to scroll through here. Okay, actually, hold on. We can make this oak podium, but it has a lot of junk on it, so we would need a lot of, what's it called? Quartz crystals to get all of the other junk out. Not that we need to, but we're going to have to throw quartz crystals until we get the sliver we need. Also, red mushroom pixie out. Molybdenite ore. I don't think we have that. That's only in the end and a different planet. So, nope, we can't make that. Mermix resin, we definitely don't have. We don't have those. Manuscript, can we craft this? No. No, we can't craft those items. Yeah, I think the only options I'm seeing that look craftable are going to be a lectern here. Oh, this is also a good option here. Lectern. That would let us get a few of them. But in order to do this, we're going to need quartz crystals galore. Oh, that's a lot of stuff on this one. So now I need to decide if we're going to do this and get quartz crystals. And I haven't even looked at the other one. Desiderium? Desiderium? What does that even mean? Oh, that's actually in that. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do quartz. So I'm going to find some quartz, and we're going to go mine it. And I think we have some quartz near us. Yeah, there's some quartz over there west of our tin vein. So let's go do some old-fashioned mining. I got some inventory to clean up, so let me clean up my inventory, and then I'll be back once I'm ready to mine. Really quick, before I go mining, I was just looking at my satchel, and I saw that we can upgrade it to a hardened satchel. And we can even upgrade the hardened satchel to reinforced with some metals that we already have. So let me do that really quick. We're going to need tin nuggets. The last step is out of the question, though. This would also be a really nice thing to have, the void satchel. We could use that to automatically trash what's it called? Like cobblestone and stuff as we're mining. But we're gonna need to make some nuggets first, so let me go ahead and chisel our mizzle over here, our mold, so to say. And alloy smelts some tin nuggets, and then some in-bar nuggets. Speed that up, please. Alright, Here's 3 tin nuggets, 3 in-bar nuggets that we need to upgrade our satchel. Let me make sure it's empty. It is empty. Pro tip, never upgrade a bag with items in it because you don't know what's going to happen. And there we go. Now we have a much bigger satchel. And we can put more slots on here to filter. So now let's go to quartz. We are going basically straight in the direction that I'm facing. Okay, cool. And do we have food? Yeah, we have our lunchbox. How's this lunchbox looking anyways? Still pretty full of stuff. That's good. The sheep just ate this grass, apparently. Let's go to quartz. Alright, here is a quartz vein, as indicated by the Crassula sabuluta. Sabuluta? I don't know how to say it, man. Alright, and we have a shovel now, and let's get our mining hammer on the bar as well. Hold shift while using this shovel so it doesn't dig out a random absolute mess of blocks here, and we have invisible blocks. I love those. Alright, down we go. Do we have our ore scanner? We do have our ore scanner. I have no idea why I constantly carry that, but I do have it. And there we go. Looks like our quartz vein is not too deep. I'm going to leave this vein semi-accessible, because I don't want to, I don't have a, what's it called? I don't have extra teleporters to set up a bunch of teleporters to a bunch of places. Alright, but we are here now. Let's grab some of the stuff here. So we have glauconite sand, which is, looks like a potassium, magnesium, aluminum, and water. Type of alloy, or I guess oxygen and hydrogen, depending on how you process it. So get some glauconite here, which we don't really need for the foreseeable future, but we will need it maybe one day. And some entropy infused ore, but I'm really here for the entropy infused ore. No, where is? Hold on a second. There should be Certus quartz here and quartzite. Bottom 3 layers and middle 3 layers. Okay, so we're just not seeing any of the quartz because it's down on the bottom layer. Let's do a little staircase going down to get down to the lower layers of the vein. 3. And then let me turn this way. 1, 2, 3. So now we should see the other types of quartz and stuff down here. Aha, here's our quartz. Alright. And we are just bashing up a bunch of these quartz. We don't actually need terribly many of these because one of these is going to give us a lot of crystals. Because we only need the tiny chipped fragments. So I think, let's see, we have half a stack of each. Let's go until we have about a stack of each, and we'll say that's probably sufficient for now. Alright, that's good enough. Let's slash home. Let's put away all of this cobblestone. Make sure I don't put away my ore scanner on accident, because I can do that, and then you lose all the modules that are installed, and that sucks. We didn't even end up using our satchel, but that's okay. We do have it for future use. Throw all of our ores in here, except the ones we want to process. I want to go ahead and process quartzite. So let's process some quartzite. We are going to grind it up in, whoops, not that one, this one. Let's go ahead and accelerate this process. Alright, and then, wow, how much is this giving? It's giving 4 per block. Okay, that's a lot. Next, we need to get the crystals, we need to sift it. Right, so ore byproduct processing, or byproduct list. So the sifter machine is up here, which requires the washed ore. So we need to use the ore washer, or I need to manually wash it in the thing. What is this giving us? It's giving us barite. Do we need barite for anything? Barite would give us barium. Do we need barium for anything in the near future? Yttrium, barium, cuprate dust? I don't think we need that. Indium, tin, barium, titanium, cuprate dust. I like the meta item ID there. Dust, indium, tin, barium, titanium, cuprate. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think we need this in the foreseeable future, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a... we're gonna do 2 stacks, and we're just gonna wash it in our cauldron manually, because we don't really need the barite byproduct at the moment. And then we are going to put it in our sifting machine, but as you notice, the sifting machine's kind of in a corner. I want to have, let's see, throw it over here. I want to have our, what's the word? Ore processing stuff somewhere else at some point. So let me go ahead and connect this upwards. We're going to drop our sifting machine onto the wire, which should connect the wire. Okay. We're going to angle the output down, and we're going to say auto output. And we're going to go ahead and start sifting that. Okay. And then I don't need the wrench right now. Let me grab the battery and speed this up the best of the battery can do. Oh my, that is draining quite quickly. But we are getting gems. Huzzah, gems. Let me really quickly look to see if there's anything we need for any of these gems. So we might need the flawless quartzite, so this one's worth keeping. Regular quartzite we will need some uses for as well. And then... this is what we're actually after here. Chipped quartzite. We can also centrifuge the regular quartzite. Here, let me just go ahead and hook up the centrifuge as well. I know I said these spaces are reserved for different machines, but we will, we're not at those, needing those machines yet, so we'll just use these spaces for these ore processing in a minute. So, purified quartzite dust will turn into, still barite there. We don't really need barite, but what we can do with our quartzite dust is I believe we can autoclave this back into a gem as well. Aha, yeah, see, we can autoclave it into a gem, and then we can have more quartzite. So you're asking, why am I doing all this? Well... where's our sifting machine? I need to put the volume of the sifting machine down a little bit. It's a little annoying. Sifting machine uses sand dot place. So if I pull that out and then put it back, there we go. Very slightly quieter. So quartzite dust is going here. Sifting machine's going there. We have some chipped quartzite. That's actually ultimately what we need to make the quartz slivers. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put it in the autoclave with some liquid starlight. So let's go get some liquid starlight from up yonder. And I think, do these, where are these vials? We had like some vials here, right? Do these glass vials let you hold a non-bucket amount of fluid? Because I would like, for example, this. Nice. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want. So then I can just swap the fluids I need in there as needed. Let me go get a couple vials of liquid starlight, and then we'll be able to use that. I do have a barrel up here, right? Or a drum or something? Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. We need also something to actually be making more liquid starlight. This is running on nothing at the moment. Are these chunks up here loaded? These chunks are also not chunk loaded, so let's put some... claim these chunks and then chunk load them. And we have too many things loaded here. Let's just unclaim this area here. We don't need all of that. Not yet anyways. And then we can chunk load those chunks. I don't know if I mentioned it, but basically when you are not in an area, the game will basically not load anything so that it can save processing power, because the game can't like simulate this whole area running at the same time. It's not that efficient. It's not Factorio. Factorio can't do it either, if I'm being honest. But here we can put some aquamarines, because aquamarines are actually pretty accessible for us to make at this point. So let's put some aquamarines to make some more liquid starlight for us. All right, back to /home. Not /home W, just /home. Thank you. Do these stack? Oh, these also stack. Wow, these vials are kind of nice. They're like cells for stuff. Can I put? No, I can't put it in there. But I can just like stick the vial in here and it's not gonna do anything. So I can like, when I want water, do that. There we go. I have our liquid starlight in here now. And then I can take our chipped quartzite, throw it in here, and chipped quartzite is now making quartz chunks. Yeah, quartz slivers, rather. So there we go, we got some quartz slivers. And what else I can do, totally forgot to mention this, we can take, speed this up again. We can't actually speed it up the whole time, the battery will go empty. But we can take the flawed quartzite we're getting, and if you've ever played Diablo, you're probably familiar with like chipped, flawed, flawless, etc. What you can do is you can size this up to this bigger gem using a laser engraver, but you can also size it down using a cutting saw. So let's go ahead and cut these flawed quartz into chipped quartz. And before we know it, we have a lot of quartz. And can we do anything with this exquisite quartz? We can cut that down into flawless quartz. And then now we have a lot of flawless quartz. How many here do I like realistically need? Inactive ender core. Ender alloy. Pulsating. Honestly, these are so far off, I'm just kind of inclined to be like, hey, let's just cut all of these. And before you know it, look how many slivers we're going to have, right? All right, let's accelerate that to make it 1 second per operation. Put the flawed quartz in directly after. All right, flawed quartz are processing now. Look how many chip quartz we have. This is 3 of these, 3 slivers per 1 of these. So yeah, that's already a ton of slivers. 8, 16, 32 for this. Just like, look, absolute beast number of slivers here. Alright, I think it's also done cutting the other things. We can go centrifuge more of this. If we really want to speed this up, we can also throw the battery in here as well. Let's speed that up a bit more. We don't really actually need to process any further manually beyond this. I just want to put this purified quartz. I'm just going to leave it here. But yeah, look at all of this quartz we suddenly have here. Tons of quartz slivers. So now we can go and we can take our... Gee, I don't even remember what we were going to put in there. It was Mythos, right? Mythos? Mythos. Okay, close enough. Okay, we're going to make these oak podiums. So let's bookmark this guy. We are going to need some wood slabs. We do have oak in here, right? Or we can use birch as well. Where's the birch podium? Here we go, birch podium. Cutting machine, make a few slabs. I think we only need 2 of them. I think we only really realistically need 1 podium. But I'm gonna make some extra. So there we go. Let's get 2 more cooking up in here. We don't need the extra empty glass vial. And look how little liquid starlight that uses. That's so nice, right? Okay, our slabs are done. Let's make some podiums. I didn't shift click. There we go, shift click. Alright, podiums. Can you, like, put something on these? Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. We're not going to use it right now, but it is cool to know it exists. Alright, and here's how this is going to work. So now we're just going to throw our podium in here. And we're going to use a bunch of quartz slivers, and it's going to turn these essentias into crystals, kind of in a random-ish order. And we are just going to collect all of this into crystals. There we go. Look at that. Now we have some Mythos crystals. And Desiderium. Desiderium? I don't know. Anyways, we can now do that step. All of that for that one step in research. But now we're ready to move forward. Okay, so we can rethink, lose 10 progress divided evenly between all current categories, but you regain 1 inspiration and gain a bonus draw. I think let's go ahead and do that. Because we only have a limited number of light bulbs up here we can use. Okay, so here we go. We can get some Herba Essentia, Herba V Crystal to get Alchemy. We actually have that, and a bonus draw. That's really nice. We can do Precantio and Vacuos to get 25. I think we're going to do this one with a bonus draw. That seems good. What does this button over here do? I guess nothing. Okay, take some time, properly calibrate your instruments and tools, gain 10 artifice and a bonus draw. Yeah, we'll take a bonus draw. We need more alchemy. Okay, here we go. Motus and Instrumentum. We already have some Instrumentum. There's also an Examinus one over here. Let's get some Motus really quick. Since we already have all of these crystals, we do not need to do that whole process of making the crystals again. Like, those are set. Right, so how can we get some Motus? Motus is things that move, so we're looking at, like, I think trapdoors, actually. Trapdoors is a good Motus source. Oh yeah, trapdoor, there we go. Let's just make some trapdoors. Oh, we have wood already. Totally forgot. 2 trapdoors is going to give us 10 Motus, which we can then turn into 5 Motus crystals. Alright, there's Motus crystals. We do not have the Instrumentum on us. Let us go over here. Now, is the difference in this one that it consumes those? I'm not sure. But anyways, there we go. And we are now at over 100 alchemy. So that means once we finish this, we will gain a bunch of alchemy. And there we go, inspired in alchemy. And we're going to have to finish one of these. So we're either going to need to make a dropper. I think we can make a dropper really quick. Dropper is just cobblestone and redstone. We should have all of that over here, right? Spoilers, we do not have cobblestone over there. Okay, 7 cobblestone. And get our dropper. So let's see, does it consume the dropper? No, it does not consume the dropper. It only uses the dropper when it's has the exclamation point. So there we go, complete our theory. We got 1 alchemy research. All of that for 1 research, which we can then go in our Thaumonomicon. Thaumonomicon. Liquid Death complete. Alright. There we go. Okay, I had to take a quick pause there, but I am back, and we have our recipe of Liquid Death Bucket now actually unlocked, hopefully this time for real. Let's get some of this junk out of my inventory. Let's say we are going to want some crystals to catch some of the excess. But let's just do what we were doing before. So 5 of these. So 5 more of these buckets, and then the empty bucket. And then some ash. 3 ashes, and then 50 treated woods. Alright, so this time we should be good, because now we actually have the recipe learned. Right? I guess we will see, so here we go. As long as I keep going at a steady pace, we're going to be okay. Alright, everything's looking good so far. And when I throw the bucket in here, I should get my dang liquid death this time. Don't do me dirty, please. There we go, jeez. I don't know why that was so annoying. And let me clean up the excess Ignis. Love being able to just make my own Ignis crystals now, I guess. And because so much time actually passed over here, we can actually go over here, put some more of these to cut, put some more of these to sift, put some more of these to centrifuge, and put some more of these to autoclave. And speed this one up so that I can put these to autoclave as well. But I think this is where we're going to call it, because from here I just need to do our nether. Clear those bookmarks. We need to make this guy, so we're going to need 10 of those. And yeah, not too hard of stuff to make here, to be honest. So yeah, next time we are going to be putting that together, and I think heading over to the nether. So, if you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, etc. You know the deal. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, and goodbye.